A second Google Doc has just hit ImAllexx. This is not a drill, I repeat. Another woman has came out with her experience with ImAllexx. So the first woman that came out, her name was Alice, and this girl's name is Annie. And it is worth pointing out, the comments here are saying that she is also one of the people who helped perpetuate the false narrative against Slazo, the false Slazo allegations. I'm not too familiar with that, but it's another content creator that this situation apparently happened 4 years ago, and she co-signed what turned out to be a false story. And she apparently hasn't apologized or anything about that. And also in this Google Doc, she doesn't give any evidence like Alice did. Alice had that full CIA declassified documents amount of information, and in here she just, it's just paragraphs. It's just rotting her own experience, and then a clip from Alex's one of Alex's old videos where she says it's the aftermath of when she broke up with him. So with all that in your little noggin now, I will say take this situation with a grain of salt. Alice's situation, that is undeniable in my head. Those are not even allegations, that straight up happened. Alex is abusive 100%, because how I see it is, since he abused someone in like one of his more recent relationships, there's a high likelihood that those abusive traits were also there in his previous relationships. Which she says they never confirmed it to the public because she likes to keep relationships private, but she dated Alex from June 2017 till March 2018. And she says it was the most toxic relationship she's ever been in, and she was lucky to get out of it when she did. And she also says the same thing that Alice did about the honeymoon phase of their relationship being picturesque and perfect and nothing was wrong, but as the relationship progressed, things quickly fell apart, his facade went away, and he gave up the act. He exited stage left and showed the real monster that he was. She says, during the relationship, he made me feel insane, like I wasn't myself anymore. It never felt like he listened to me. I always felt belittled and inferior. When we recorded videos together, he would constantly talk over me and never let me have my moment. And that perpetuates the points, the clips, and the texts that Alice posted about, you know, just him just being narcissistic, thinking that he never does anything wrong, that he probably thinks his farts smell like dandelions and roses, that they don't even fucking stink. Being abusive doesn't just pop up on someone like a common cold. It's something that's like deeply rooted and always been there. But she continues to talk about how he just always makes things about himself. He never really cared about her, made her feel unseen, which Alice also said in her statements. It's just basically the same points that Alice made, but in a previous relationship with Alex, which makes sense that there would be commonalities like this. And she says a classic line of his was, "I can't catch a fucking break." He didn't burp in the middle of that. That was me. I'm sorry. I'm not going to re-record that, though. And she also says that if we ever had a disagreement, he would also sometimes allude to the possibility of killing himself over minor conflicts as a threat, so I couldn't continue with the conversation. And it was nearly impossible to give him any kind of criticism because it was like adding to the pile of minor issues that we had already blown far out of proportion in his head. So that's another commonality from the Alice situation, him taking tiny things and blowing them up and trying to make it their fault, not his fault, always their fault, always pointing the finger and just trying to make a situation way more of a problem than it really is. I feel like Alex is the type of dude that in a relationship that his partner could stub their toe and then she would say like, "Ow, I stubbed my toe," and then he would somehow get upset at her and turn it into something that focuses on him and how he's always the one that's in pain and her pain is nothing compared to his. And then she says that he would always constantly spin his own narrative and twist words. And that wasn't just in the relationship, but he did it with his work and with his friends. But past that, she says during their relationship, she bought him matching Alex and Annie bracelets for Valentine's Day because I was like, "Oh, neat, a company with both our names." And that you can see him pressing the heart on his bracelet to his lip in his Back to Nothing video, which he has since taken down from his channel. And she recommends you start at 4 minutes, and this is that video.
For the first time in a year, I felt like I was truly happy.
And this video is just him like yapping and being sad, feeling sorry for himself. And this is the only clip you need to see. I can't feel bad for this man. That's him apparently kissing the bracelet that she got him. So that's what that's about. That's really the only video evidence that we have with this situation. But past that, she says the video was released as a response to me breaking up with him. He uploaded this video after I stopped talking to him as a way of trying to guilt me into replying to him. Which, that's not confirmed. There's no, like, overwhelming evidence to prove that. But seeing the previous situation with Alice and the copious amounts of evidence that she has of how he treated her and how he acted, I wouldn't doubt that in the slightest, that that's actually what he was doing with that, was trying to get sympathy and pity points and trying to make her come back and feel sorry for him. And then she says he did the same exact toxic cycle that he did to Alice in their relationship, where he would fly off the handle, get mad, then act all apologetic and sad to try to get her to feel sorry for him and forgive everything he had said and done. And she says lastly, the only time he ever laid a finger on her was whenever he grabbed her as she was trying to run away from a conflict. They were recording a YouTube video together, and he was getting frustrated at having to restart the recording multiple times. He started shouting and beating his fist on the table, even going as far to break his microphone, which we seen in the other video. I didn't show it. It was in the Google Doc that he did break his monitor, so that's a commonality there also. And she says, I was scared, so I got up to leave the room, which is when he grabbed my arm to physically stop me. I remember saying, you grabbed my arm several times in shock, as if to say, who the fuck would ever grab someone like that? Once again, I was fortunate that that was the only time something like that ever happened, and that she got out before it got even worse, and as it clearly has with the new information that's came out. And then she ends it off by saying, if you're also in an abusive relationship, please get out now. You can't fix them, and that's the end of that. That's her perspective, her allegations against ImAllexx, and her experience being in a relationship with ImAllexx. But definitely worth talking about, since there are a lot of commonalities, and it would make sense that he's also been abusive to other partners and not just one. So I felt like it was worth bringing up and talking about. But other than that, I gotta go back to work. I'll catch you in the next one.